Marcus Aurelius, emperor, general, philosopher. He seems larger than life. Yet amidst global wars and epic deeds, he pauses to recall something simple: his mother's love. In Meditations, he writes, "From my mother, I learned piety and generosity, to abstain not only from doing wrong, but even from contemplating it." Today, we meet the often overlooked heroines of Stoic history, the mothers who raised some of the greatest Stoics and shaped their philosophies. Let's uncover the story of Marcus Aurelius's mom and what she can teach us about motherhood, philosophy, and life. When Marcus Aurelius was born, his father was just another politician in Rome. So young Marcus spent his earliest years under the guidance of his mother, Domitia Lucilla. She wasn't a Stoic philosopher or a famous warrior, but her influence on Marcus's life and thought is undeniable. Her teachings made him who he was, shaping his virtues, mindset, and character. We see glimpses of her in his writings, bits of wisdom that she must have shared with him growing up, guiding him on the path that led him to become one of history's most respected leaders. To understand Domitia Lucilla, we have to look beyond Marcus Aurelius's famous Meditations. Her story comes to us through fragments from letters, descriptions from historians, and the subtle echoes in Marcus's words. When we piece together these fragments, we get a picture of a woman who might seem different from the traditional image of a Stoic. She wasn't a philosopher who debated in public squares or wrote treatises. She was a Roman mother and manager of her family estate. Yet within that role, she embodied the spirit of Stoicism. Let's dive deeper into what her life reveals about her character and the values she likely passed on to her son. To begin, let's talk about what we know about Domitia's family background. Her father, Titus Flavius Domitilla, was a member of the Roman Senate, holding the important position of suffect consul in 37 AD. This means he temporarily replaced the regular consuls for part of a year. It's not quite the same as being a top elected official, but it still shows he had clout in Roman society. What's interesting is that, according to historian Ronald Syme, Titus was originally from Asia Minor. He moved to Rome and started a brick factory. This wasn't seen as a fancy job, but it was successful enough to make him and his family rich. So we can imagine that Domitia grew up knowing what it was like to be wealthy, but also how hard work and smart management can build an empire. Now let's talk about her marriage to Marcus Domitius Appuleius, Marcus Aurelius's dad. Like many Roman marriages, this one was probably arranged to join two families and further their interests. It's believed they wed around 120 AD when Domitia was about 14 years old. Now, while this age gap might seem shocking now, it was pretty normal back then. What matters most is that Domitia had a good relationship with her husband. They stayed together until he died in 138, which is a long time in a period when life was rough and relationships weren't always steady. Together they had two kids, Marcus and Faustina. Although Domitia Lucilla's husband died when the children were young, her children still had not only herself to teach them the ways of a Stoic, but their grandfather as well. Faustina looked to her brother Marcus Aurelius for guidance. However, she tragically died young, leaving Marcus Aurelius and his wife Faustina the younger as the only surviving direct descendants of the family. Settled in the imperial path, Domitia Lucilla ran her family's properties and dealt with financial matters. She took this job seriously, showing diligence and fairness. She cared deeply about how people were treated on her land, whether they were tenants or servants. In fact, there's a rumor that she once ordered the release of a slave who mistakenly stole a small amount of money because she felt it was wrong to punish someone so harshly for such a small offense. This tells us she valued justice and mercy, qualities that are central to Stoicism. If you're enjoying this content, please click the like button, subscribe for more updates. But let's come back to our main question. What can we learn about Domitia Lucilla? First off, her name itself gives us clues. In Roman times, names held serious weight. Her name, Domitia, came from the gens Domitia family, known for producing Roman emperors and other big players. Meanwhile, Lucilla was a nickname connected to light and brightness. When put together, her name hinted at the kind of impact she might have. She was a rising star in the Roman sky. Then there's her title, Augusta. After Marcus Aurelius and Lucius Verus took the throne, she got this prestigious title, usually reserved for the wives and mothers of emperors. This meant she had reached the top of Roman society. Yet despite all this, she didn't seek power for herself. Her main focus remained her family and her responsibilities. What's truly amazing about Domitia Lucilla is how she managed to juggle her busy life while being a mother. It's not easy to imagine how she balanced raising kids, handling finances, and finding time to be a devoted mother. Historians believe that she taught her children about virtue, right conduct, and how to face challenges. She also emphasized charity, urging them to help the needy and show kindness. These lessons clearly stuck with Marcus Aurelius, as he frequently mentions the importance of virtue and self-control in his writings. But why is all of this important today? Why should we care about the life of a Roman empress from the past? Well, because Domitia Lucilla teaches us about how philosophy isn't just confined to books or famous thinkers. It's lived out in the everyday decisions we make. As a mother, she demonstrated how you can rise to the top in Roman society, which was extremely competitive, yet still remain humble and true to your values. She combined power with kindness and responsibility. Also, she shows us that philosophy is a family affair. She didn't have to debate in the forum to practice Stoicism. She lived it in her home. She passed on the values of self-control, justice, and compassion to her children, especially her son Marcus. In fact, Marcus Aurelius credits much of his philosophical outlook to the teachings he received at home from his mother. It's easy to think of Stoicism as a dry, unemotional path, but Domitia Lucilla knew better. She understood that true strength comes from embracing life fully, both its joys and hardships. She wasn't just a Roman empress or the mother of an emperor. She was a woman who navigated the complexities of life with grace, wisdom, and kindness, embodying the true essence of Stoicism. As we close, remember that the Stoics weren't aloof intellectuals detached from the world. They were real people trying to live good lives in a sometimes harsh and unjust world. And Domitia Lucilla stands as a prime example. She helps us see that philosophy isn't just a set of abstract ideas, but a practical guide for living, especially in the messy, complicated realm of family and emotions. The legacy of Domitia Lucilla serves as a reminder that greatness doesn't always need to be loud or flashy. Sometimes it's found in the quiet strength and wisdom of everyday life. In the bustling city of Rome, surrounded by power, ambition, and luxury, lived a woman who stood out not because of her title or wealth, but because of her character. Her name was Domitia Lucilla, mother of Marcus Aurelius, the emperor philosopher, and a shining example of Stoic virtue. Though history remembers her son's triumphs, it's worth pausing to appreciate the woman who shaped his path, a silent force behind one of the most influential minds in history. Her life, though not as dramatic as her son's, holds valuable lessons for anyone seeking to live a life of purpose and virtue. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history to meet the fascinating women who walk the path of Stoicism. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons.